Oh, God. What?
Momo. It's like way too windy to take him out.
Did you hear that? Daddy says way too windy. You can't go out.
Why do I feel like I'm hearing...
It like echoes.
What?
That sound down there.
Really?
I mean, I feel like you can hear it like this. Right?
Yeah, why?
Is the speaker on there? Like this.
That's weird. I gotta figure that out.
Okay, I have one piece. That one.
What? This is why he always bothers you.
That's where you're wrong. He's never bothering me.
So I'm going to post a live link to the groups.
Well, where's my left?
Post.
When am I alive?
Yeah, I just don't get why it echoes.
Is it still echoing? That's not bad. I'm not worried about that.
I just go, why? Was it echoing the last time?
I don't remember it. But I don't think this is bad. Is it bad? I don't remember it echoing before.
I just don't know why it's echoing. Like, why it's playing out of...
Your butt. Why is it
I
playing out?
think they heard that.
Are we live?
Yeah. You told me to put it live 10 minutes beforehand.
Hi, ladies.
So I put a...
Can I see comments and stuff?
There haven't been any comments yet.
Is there anyone there?
5 viewers, but I can't tell quite yet. And Getimer says hello.
Hi, Miss Ann.
Can you ladies hear that echo too?
We're hoping for no technical difficulties today.
That's super weird. I don't know why.
I need to be able to see that screen, Patrick.
So the ladies are saying that they can't hear the echo.
Perfect. Ladies, go ahead and heat up your irons. We've got 3 more minutes and then we're going to get started. I haven't even started yet and I've already made a huge mess. I'm just looking around going, Oh my goodness. It's already a mess. The ironic part is I was trying to get organized, and instead I made a mess. Let's slide that over. Here's some shape flags. Slide this over. Be looking for this at some point. Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Can I when can I turn it?
Come on. Get up here.
I'm gonna look on Facebook and make it. Are you in the sew along group?
What's weird is it was there and now I can't see it, but the ladies are obviously on Facebook.
Okay, I see it on Facebook. It says playing Dance Dance Revolution.
It always says that.
Okay.
Because it's we have to be playing something on our multi-stream platform.
Timber bells, spring showers, put week 3 so along. Okay, I'm going to log off my computer so I'm not taking up bandwidth. All right, can I get started? It's 10 o'clock. Patrick?
Yeah?
Can I get started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me turn
Good
this.
morning,
Where do you want
ladies.
this?
I want it swung around so I can see it. Thank you. Hi, Miss Ann. Hi, Miss Carolyn. Okay, so this week, every week we're going to stitch for 3 hours. And the sew-alongs are usually 10 to 1. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, we haven't gotten this done. Let's just keep stitching. But this week, we are sticking to the 3 hours because I am in dire need of a new pair of glasses. So right at 1, I'm going to be running out the door. But this is what you should have done so far. You should have I'm going to show it to you right now so I can just move it to the side. This was our week 1 and part of week 2. So these are the umbrellas. Let's weather it together, and that really, really cute, partly cloudy embroidery. This is from last week, which is the branch, the beehive, the bees with their little dimensional wings, which I love. The log cabins. Those adorable mushrooms. These were just the cutest. They're puffy because they have the flex foam in them. The butterflies were absolutely gorgeous. And then we had the bird houses. Hi, Miss Audrey. I'm going to take that and put that to the side. And then there were some random ones that I had you stitch out because I thought they might be quick and we could get it done. Like, I loved this with that iridescent mylar underneath and the stitching on it. And then when you put the vinyl on top, it just looked absolutely incredible. There was one more log cabin that's going to go to this week's, and no rain, no flowers. I haven't clipped my jump threads yet, but I will. I'll do that in my prep. I'm going to put that to the side. let's get started with heating up your iron because we're going to adhere some of the vinyl. And we're going to start with one of the boots. And we're only doing one boot because once you get one boot, they should be easy. You just have to pay attention to whatever accessory embellishment that comes from your accessory pack. So this one, and this is going to be Rain Boot 1B. That is going to be this right here. So you should have your fabric, your batting, and I revised the chart again. So if you look, hi Miss Kim, if you look at the chart, I went ahead and reprinted it out because I added pop ruler sizes to trim because I thought that would be easy, not having to flip to the book again. And then I was talking to somebody who added, what size to cut your backing. So you can make your own spreadsheet into anything you want. This to me was the easiest because I was instruction book and looking for pages, although I did put the page here to make it really easy. And if you ever use this and you find a typo, let me know so I can make a change. I do try and check it, but every once in a while, I make a mistake. So we are going to be doing the rain boot. We're going to be working with 5x7 batting, and to figure out your batting, you always just take the final size and add an inch length and width. I'm going to be in the 5x7 hoop, and this is our size that we're going to cut it down to. So everyone go ahead and grab this. And actually, if you could grab, because we might as well do it right now, grab all of your rain boot fabric because we're going to put our vinyl on all of them. We might as well, and then we don't have to think about it again. And it does recommend that you put fusible backing on the back. I forgot to do that when I did mine, and it was totally fine. So I'm being really lazy and I'm not going to put my fusible backing, but if you feel uncomfortable with that, please go ahead and put your fusible backing on there. I thought mine were like adorable. And what I'm talking about is I'm talking about the umbrellas. You're supposed to put fusible backing on the fabric that goes here on the umbrellas. And I didn't because I just missed that step. Sometimes that happens and it was totally fine. So it's up to you. If you want to put your fusible backing, have your fusible backing. I am just going to go ahead and put the vinyl on right now. I cut down my vinyl pieces. I really do not pre-cut anything from my accessory pack, except I did cut down my vinyl. So if you haven't done this yet, I want you to find those little fusible vinyl pieces. And I went ahead and labeled mine so I knew which would go to which boot. And so I have 2 for my white boot. I have 2 for my yellow and 1 for my pink boot. So grab those, cut them down. The sizes are here for the blue boot, 4x5, 2 of those. For the pink boot, 4x4.5. And for the white boot, 2 pieces of vinyl that are 4x5. I've been super busy, so you haven't been getting those supply lists or anything like that. But we're kind of sticking to the chart that we had, the spreadsheet. And so my iron is nice and hot. And I immediately have lost my boots. Oh, here they are. They're right there. Okay, so here are my boots. I'll grab my white boots first and take this. These should be 4x5. Still want to keep them all in order. That way your vinyl's all adhered. White. White boot, white boot. Oh, and don't forget, the vinyl goes to the front part of the boot. Since I don't have the project, we'll have fun. We'll see you later, Miss Carolyn. Don't forget, this is the pretty side, so you're putting it on the pretty side. And if I were to fuse, anything, the fusible, it would be to the light fabric, so you don't have shadowing. And these, maybe I will, because you know how I was saying that I'm not going to put the fusible woven, the Shape Flex. You just don't want to see that fabric through the background. The umbrellas were all pretty dark, but this would make sense to put that fusible on there. I'm not going to do these now, but just know I'll probably add that fusible to these because it's going on such dark fabric, or darker. All right. Go ahead and fuse. I'm using, this is my Goddess pressing sheet, which I love. I haven't used a lot of pressing sheets, so I didn't know how to compare them, but Donna, who's doing our Paradise class, said she loves this because it is, it's a little bit thinner. Like some of them are thick. So this one is adhered. This is going to go to my rain boots. And like I said, I will probably add that Shape Flex to these because it's light. I don't want to see the orange behind it. Okay. My rain boots. It is windy in Reno today. Super windy. Make sure you don't sandwich anything icky in between your vinyl. There's a yellow boot and yellow boot. I was working yesterday on my my houses for the sew along on Thursday for the clear blue tiles. I'm doubling them, so it's taking me double the amount of time. This is going on the gray. This is the stuff that Michelle uses on her candy bags. It's always nice to have this in your stash. Some fusible vinyl. Good morning, Miss Marlene. Yeah, you could still put it on afterwards. I would just take this and put it on my press cloth and then put my my Shape Flex on the back of it. So, not a big deal. I don't think I would put this down on my wool mat. Although I think that would probably be fine too. It's not really... Maybe. Put it on your pressing cloth. Just put it on a press cloth. This... So let's see how that looks with that as opposed to white. And I think it's a little brighter than on the gray. So... All right, Shape Flex that one too. And since we're leaving one out, 1A, let me leave this one out. This is the one we're going to be doing today. And where's my last boot? Where's my last boot? I kind of separated mine into homework and ones that we were going to do today. Flower pots, wagon, rain boot 2. And it's going to go on the pink fabric. So if we drop on Facebook or YouTube, let me know. If you didn't put... I'm hoping that today will be smooth. And we won't have to worry about the issues we had last week. All right, Rain Boot 1A. This is like my scraps of shape flex. I know. There's so many of them. So I'm going to put something on the back of that. What's this piece? That looks perfect. I'm going to put this on the back of this one. That way it won't shadow through. Okay, bumpy side to the wrong side of your fabric. Clean it off. Make sure there's nothing icky there. I'm just gonna stop right here where it's there's no fabric under there. Oh, look at how icky that is. Something icky on the bottom of my iron. Okay. I'm just going to cut that excess. Ladies, I'm so excited for the Liberty pillow. I love the 12 by 12s. I mean, not the 12 by 12s, 21 inch by 21 inch pillows. I love those. I feel like they're, so quick to get through compared to some of the other stuff. So this is what we're starting with. And if you're still prepping, go ahead and prep. You should have a piece of batting that's 5 by 7. You should have this piece of, this is going to be our boot fabric. And I have the vinyl. Oh my goodness. Guess what's, oh no, it's on top of it. And then shape flex on the back with dirty stuff if your iron was dirty. And your background fabric. And your background fabric are always going to stabilize that with the SF101, the shape flex. And we're going to be working in the 5 by 7 hoop. I loaded this morning and it pretty much fills the hoop with the background quilting. So I have my, and this is what I'm doing for the houses from the Clear Blue Tiles, the seasonal table topper. I just have my muslin on a long strip and I'm just hooping, unhooping, and then hooping it again. And my hoop is not very tight. Let me tighten that up. And we're ready to go to the machine and go get started. So let's have all of this get hooped up. Your little sheet, I'm going to have my directions next to me and my little cheat sheet. Oh, here it is. It's in my book. We're going to go ahead and load Rain Boot 1A. We're looking for Animal 1 and the vertical design. That's going to be the quilt design, and we're looking for the size to be 4 by 6 vertical. The design should make more sense when you load it vertically. All right, let's go to the machine. You hear some aggressive chewing in the background. That's Momo. Here we go. All right. Have the fabric for the Liberty pillow. No, that one last fabric's not going to be in stock until April 8th. And then they'll ship it to me. So I'll let you know as soon as those kits are ready. So let's go into embroidery. I'm going to go to my pocket. and the USB, and I have my designs in the quilt bundle, and it's Animal 1. So I'm looking for Animal 1 right here. And the spreadsheet wants the 4x6 vertical. So I'm looking for 4x6. And when I save my designs, I only save the format that works on my machine. I do have software so I could convert if ever I decided I wanted something else. So there's 4x6. I'm going to go ahead and set it. And you want your design to be running vertically. I already chose my hoop size. So if you haven't done this yet, I want you to do it now. You're going to go up here to your settings, or it might be here on the bottom if you're on a Baby Lock or a Brother. I don't know what it is on other machines. And I already chose my 5x7, so I know exactly how much space I have to work with. I'm going to just go ahead and say okay. And now I'm going to combine that. So I'm going to hit add. And I am looking for the boot. So here are my designs. Spring Showers Quilt. And let's make sure we choose the right one. So this one's going to have the flower. And this is the one that we're going to be doing right now. This is boot 1, boot 2, and those are boot 3. And boot 3 has also the little buckles that you're going to be stitching for that. So we're going to go ahead and load this one. I'm going to go ahead and hit set. So it's combined. Let's make sure it's sitting right where it's supposed to be sitting, because remember when I had you do the flower, the birdhouse, and the birdhouse wasn't where it was supposed to be. So let's always check it, because it might need to be moved down. Go to my instructions, and usually it'll say right here block by block instructions, and it says align block embroidery file with the quilt design file so that both files are centered. So we're just being centered. So we don't have to worry about that at all. So you always want to kind of check that and just make sure we're totally centered. I'm just going to go ahead and hit embroidery. It is going to combine my designs. I'm going to slide my hoop onto my machine. I just have a white pre-wound bobbin in. And I'm going to scoot it up. I mean, I've got maybe ½ an inch. I'm still going to scoot it up. So I'm going to hit layout, move, and I'm just going to scoot it to the top, and that's it. All right. We are ready to get started. First thing that we're going to do is we are going to do a placement line for the batting. And I just have like a grayish in there. I've got a new product to show you, ladies, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So this is a spray tent, and this is a dime product, and it comes really, really tiny. I don't want to be showing you all my mess, but it comes in a tiny little pack. It's like one of those pop-up things. So let me go ahead and show you. But what I love about it is all self-contained, and it is our deal of the day. This week, I already have it up there, so if you see it and you love it, go ahead and get it. It's $24.99, and I have it on the website for 25% off, so you can just lay that in there, and you don't have to worry about your aerosol flying up and going everywhere. Mine's a little janky. Do you see this top part and how janky it is? So I just went ahead and then it wouldn't kind of lay flat. So I just got a piece of cardboard that was 12 inches. And I cut it 12 inches and just popped it in there. But I love this. I absolutely love it. So if you want one, get it on the website, because I think these will sell out for sure. Okay, I'm sprayed. So if you hear me spraying, that's where I'm spraying from. Remember, you always spray the bumpy side of your stabilizer. It's on the website, so you can go and get it before I put it up there on with the sale price. So just look up spray tent. Okay, I'm gonna tack this down, and then I'm gonna trim it. I love it. I absolutely love it, and I really, really loved my spray box. I was emotionally attached to that, but I think it's going to go. The only thing that it might not work great for are things that are going to be really long. Like, for instance, when we do the sashing pieces next week. The sashing and the border pieces. It's not super long. So maybe I'll keep my spray box for something like that. But I was just using it yesterday, my little pieces. I just popped it in there, gave it a little shot of spray, didn't worry about it. I love it. Maybe I'll find a prettier piece of cardboard. And then you can, I don't know if you've ever had, we have those like, for one of our cars, we have one of those sun shields, and you grab it like with your thumb on one side and then your fingers on the other and just twist and then put it together. That's kind of what you do with this. And it has a little bag, like the bag is like this tiny. It's really, really tiny. But I just see myself just leaving, because I embroider so much. I just see myself just leaving it out. Go ahead and trim. Yeah, I love my spray tent. The other thing I ordered yesterday, 2 scoops there's a thread set. So if you love the thread sets, which I absolutely love the thread set. I've been, the first day I didn't have my thread set, so I was just pulling stuff out of my stash. And I love anything that just makes my life easier. So we'll do a deal of the day. I ordered them yesterday, so we'll probably do the deal of the day next week for the 2 scoops thread kit. And it's the glide thread, and it's fantastic. Okay, I'm going to skip the next step. I've been skipping it because I know I just need to center it to this. And I'm just going to give my background fabric a little shot of spray. I'm not going to show you where I'm spraying again, just so I don't have to keep moving the camera around. And I like to, after I spray it, just quarter it, just so I can find that center. And then I open it up. And I'm going to skip to the next step because I'm skipping the placement. There's my tack down. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch it out. This is going to tack this fabric down, my background fabric down. And then we're going to do the quilting. I'm just going to leave that color in that I have in there. It's that like grayish. I know, Audrey, I thought of you because I know you love thread sets. And so they have that one. They also, which I didn't realize, they also have one that's their silky cottons. So I'm going to do both of those next week as a deal of the day. And the silky cottons, they have a color that's going to match every single one of your the Kimberbell silky cottons. So this color, the Caribbean blue, the cotton candy, or no, what is it? It's coconut cream. So they have all of the colors, which sometimes they're hard to match, or I find them hard to match. So that's going to be coming too. I looked at it, I was like, I have another gal that loves thread sets. So I was like, one for me, one for Audrey, one for Irene. I don't think so.
It's chilly.
Now, if you look at your screen, it wants you to stitch the grass. So it's the green grass. So just go ahead and change your thread out. Is that so cute? So, so cute. Let me get my green grass. I love this color. I did not have this color in my stash. With, you know how you're amazed? You go, I have so much thread. How can I not have that color? But I had a shade darker than this and a shade lighter than this, but not the one they had in the thread kit. So yeah, thread kits are great. I think I ordered 20 of the 2 scoops, and I only ordered 8 of the silky cottons because I didn't know who would want it. And Patrick's always saying that I need to stop spending so much. He's no fun. He's my shopping fun sponge. Okay, after this color is going to be that Caribbean blue. So it's going to be this color or something like it. So get that out next. How are we doing? Is the feed seem to be working on YouTube and Facebook? I'm hoping. All right, now let's go ahead and put the blue. Okay, but if it drops, let me know. Not that I know what I'm going to do about it. Uh-oh, Momo's ringing the doorbell. All right, go ahead and do your blue flowers. It's going to be 2 minutes of stitching. Okay, last flower. After you do this one, we are going to put in, I go with the more yellowy color instead of the one that's more gold. That's going to be the center of the flowers. And we need to also have your bootstrap fabric. I had a panic, I didn't have a panic attack, but this morning I couldn't find any of my fabric. I couldn't find any of my spring shower stuff. And I put it in a bag and put it underneath my sewing table, which I never do anything like that. So I found my bootstrap stuff. I'm going to look for it again because I'm not exactly sure where it is. So let me go ahead. And you're looking for, there's a little package that has your bootstrap stuff and the buckles. So it's going to be together. So you need that as well because that's going to go up on the top of the boot. So go ahead and put in your yellow. I'll find mine. I have it. I did find it, and I did put it with my staff. But now I need to find it again. Okay, yellow, center of the flowers. Okay, you're looking for a package that looks like this, and these are going to be the bootstraps. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out. And you need a 3-inch piece. So go ahead and cut your bootstrap to 3 inches. And don't lose that. So now we're going to go ahead. Let's turn to page 46. And remember, ladies, if you catch me doing something I'm not supposed to be doing, speak up. So Marlene's saying she made her buckles out of white leather. I didn't like the felt for things like signs. Oh, yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, ladies, you could do yours on white leather too. So color does not make a difference. Anytime you see that box with those diagonal lines, stitch your placement line. I'm going to leave my yellow in there because we might as well, since color does not make a difference. You're going to place the bootstrap end 1/2 inch over the placement line. Strap should be over the grass as shown. And we're going to go 1/2 inch over that and place tape completely covering the placement line. So I'm going to use some of my, I have my transport here. I'm going to use that because it's easier for me to rip. You know, I try to order the dispensers, the Kimberbell orange tape dispenser, and they have not been in stock for probably 6 months now. It's been a long, long time. So let me go ahead and rip my tape. I do love the transport just because it's so easy to rip and it's sticky and I can use it multiple times. So I'm going to pull this back. I can see my line right there. It wants you to cover it about 1/2 inch and completely cover that placement line. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take my other one. Make sure this doesn't twist when you lay it down. I'm going to go 1/2 inch here too, and let's peek under there. That looks like 1/2 inch. Completely cover that. Looks cute. And then the instructions say, stitch the bootstrap tack down line, remove tape, and place wash away topping over the strap. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, we want to cover that strap up because we do not want our foot to get caught under that. So let's go ahead and remove our tape first. And get that little piece. Where are my tweezers? Oh, he's down below. I'm just gonna, can't really, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm fine. He's fine. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab a piece of this and cover the whole thing up. Just make sure that, where's my tape? Cover that whole thing up. And then it says stitch the boot placement line and then place the prepared boot fabric right side up. So we're going to do the placement line. Color does not make a difference. I'm just going to leave that same color in there. I'm going to kind of just monitor this a little bit just to make sure nothing gets caught. Here we go. Hi, Miss Shannon. Don't worry about it. You're good. Thanks for joining. Place the prepared boot fabric, and it says, it doesn't say to remove any of that wash away topping. So we're going to go ahead and put that boot fabric over this. I'm going to give it a little shot of spray in my spray tent. I don't think I need this tapping down here. I'm just going to rip it away down here. Because most likely mine is not going to be washed. Mine is just going to go and become a wall hanging. And I'm going to go ahead and put this down over it. Make sure you cover the entire boot. Placement. Cover the whole thing? Yep. And it says stitch the boot tack down line. Trim vinyl. Be careful not to cut this strap. So let's go ahead and tack it down. I'm just using that same yellow that I had in. Then you're going to get your scissors, your snips, whatever you want to use, and we're going to trim that fabric close to the stitch line. Go ahead and trim it. Close to the stitch line. And then we're going to do some satin stitching and then the final stitch out. Okay, be careful not to cut that boot strap. That's what makes it so cute. Just fold it back, make sure that that boot strap is totally intact. I'm going to grab this tape out of here too. Should have grabbed that before, huh? Don't want that under there. Okay. All right, and then it says stitch the boot satin outline. What I don't want is this tape here. Wash away I'm fine with, but the tape, I don't want that. All right, so I'm going to have to watch mine and make sure nothing gets caught here. I might just hold it back like this. And now we're going to do the satin stitch outline. Not sure what that broke on, but let me go ahead and change. I'm going to go ahead and rethread. And I'm going to check my needle. I'm just going to change my needle just in case it hit at all. Let's go. I'm just going to, because some of this gets a little thick, I'm just going to stick with my Microtex 8012. I love that. I use this for everything. So ladies, when you change your needles out, make sure you hand tighten, and then make sure you tighten it a little bit more with a screwdriver. It should never be loose enough for you to undo by hand. Okay. I'm just going to keep going because it wasn't doing the satin part of the satin stitch yet. It's just kind of... Okay, this is going to be 4 minutes of stitching. Kind of keep your eye on it. I'm actually cutting some kits while I'm doing this too. Yeah, that Marlene, that is, yes, I am a fast trimmer, and I use either my left or my right hand, depending on which is like, you know, if I don't have room because this is in the way, then I'll use my right hand because there's more space. Yeah, I definitely do that. And because I can cut with like both hands, I don't always have to take, like, I rarely take my hoop off of the machine all the way. If I'm doing something where I have to trim all the way around, I will, so I can like turn my hoop. But yeah, I'm a fast trimmer. Okay, I'm going to take out my yellow, and we're ready to just do some stitching. So we're going to put in that dark gray, which is almost black. And this is going to be the sole of the shoe. So go ahead and put that color in. I want you ladies to practice your trimming skills, and it might be easier. Like, I find that I really started doing it mostly with my snips, because you're just pinching your snips. So I found that that was really easy for me to do with both of my hands. And like, if I were to free cut something out, like when I was in college, one of my work study jobs was I worked at something called the Murray House, and I did their spaghetti dinners. It was just like a fundraiser kind of thing, and we would do that once a month. But I would be in charge of doing the bulletin boards, like any of the upcoming bulletin boards, and I would hand cut all the letters for the bulletin boards because I was really good at cutting them and not having to draw them or doing anything like that. But if I was to free cut something with my hand, I would definitely use my left hand. It's my dominant hand just for cutting. I'm right-handed. I think that's another reason why I can cut so well with my right hand, is because my right hand is my dominant hand for most everything. My left hand's it's my dominant hand just for cutting. Which I know is weird, right? That's probably why my brain is the way it is. So that's probably why I'm so good at cutting with my right hand too. Okay, after the boot, we are going to be doing the vine and leaf detail. That's going to be the green again. So make sure you have your green ready. I've got about 3 minutes left of stitching on my whole design, so hopefully you're around there. And the next design we're going to do is going to be the wagon. I know I might have put in there that we were going to do one of each boot, but I want to get through some stuff. If we have time to go back and do anything else, then we'll come back to the boots. But you should kind of have the gist of it with the boots. Okay, let's put in the green. This is step number 10 in your instructions. The next step is going to be step 11, which is going to be the bottom flower fill. So we are going to do that with that same Caribbean blue and then the yellow, and then we are going to be done. There is a block trimming guideline that we're going to stitch as well. Isn't this boot so cute? He's really cute. let's put the blue in. If you are using the thread set, I'm finding that this is peeling up. So if I were you, I would write the number here too, just in case that sticker peels up and disappears, you know what color it is. Okay, here comes that flower. Then you're gonna need the yellow that goes on the inside. The blue fabric for the mushroom block. Marlene, I have that, so just email me and I'll cut you some of that tomorrow. I mean, if you didn't even want to do the yellow in the middle of the flower, you don't have to because the yellow's right there from before. I'm not even going to do it. I'm going to skip that. If you're dying to do it, do it. But it's already yellow in the middle of the flower from the satin stitch on the boot. I am going to do the last stitch, which is going to be the cutting guideline. So that's the yellow of the flower. This is going to be your cutting guideline. I am going to stitch that, even though that to me is just going to be a suggestion. Let me put that yellow back in. Color doesn't make a difference. This is the cutting guideline that it's stitching for me. Looks like it's on the top and the two sides. I'm just going to rip this out of the way too. We don't need that. And next up is going to be, did I say wagon? I think it's going to be wagon. And I'll finish up the homework and I will be filming everything. So even though I'm not doing it right now, it'll be recorded and I'll post that as I do it. So let's go ahead and we are done with that one. Look how cute it is. It's adorable. I love this little strap. He is so cute. I almost wish mine was a little shorter so it didn't cover over that flower quite as much. But he's cute. He's adorable. All right, ladies. Let's set up for the next one. If you're still stitching, just keep stitching. I'm going to go ahead and pop this out. And I'll just put that to the side for later. We are going to be doing the wagon. So the hoop I'm going to be using is my 8x12. So I'm going to put this one to the side. I cut for my, and maybe I'll make a little chart for this. For my muslin, for my 5x7, I cut my, my strips 9 inches. For my 8x12, I think I cut my strip 12 inches. Let me see. Here is my 8x12. All right. And my strip is, I cut my strip 12.5 inches for this. But sometimes it makes sense to cut it so it's going this way. If you have like little stuff and you're scooting it this way, if you're scooting up and down, then you want to cut it long and skinny. All right, hope that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. we are going to do the wagon. So let me go ahead and grab my stack of wagon fabric. Let's see what we need to prep for this. It's my filler, my flower pots, and here's my wagon. All right, for the wagon, you also are going to need, I have my background, it already has the shape flex on it. So I have that. Let me turn that so it's not glaring. And then my wheels, which are going to be this fabric here. The gray is your wheels. Your wagon bed is going to be this red. And you can't see because I'm pointing to both of them right now, but it wasn't in the screen. And then your bucket is going to be this fabric right here. You need your silver embroidery leather. So I have all my embellishments right here. So you need silver embroidery leather. So grab that. You need your embroidery cork. I still haven't even touched my embroidery cork. I've still been using everything from my scraps. And then you need your pine embroidery felt. So you're going to need the dark green. So grab that. All right. And we should be ready to go. Let's see what they want us to do for our hooping. So light mesh cutaway, I'm going to be using the my muslin and fusible backing. So the fusible backing, they do want you to put fusible backing on that little green piece, the minty green piece. So heat up your iron, and if you already have it backed, don't worry about it, but I'm going to grab mine. Did I back mine? I didn't back mine. Let me go ahead and back it right now. So here's mine. I'm just going to grab a little skinny piece from my scrap bin, which is plentiful. And you know you don't need a huge piece. It's going to it's always just the center that you really need to deal with. I'm just going to put it right in here. And so iron fusible backing to the wrong side of the bucket fabric, and then we are ready to get stitching. I'll just go ahead and trim that right now. Where do you find your chart? So the chart, Carol, it's right on, if you go to the sew along, on the very top of it, and I think it's for everybody. On the very top of it, there should be like recently downloaded files. And so it should be right there. If you can't find it, email me and I'll just send you a copy of it. But this is going to be for my wagon. You can see I only have it right in the middle, but you know there's going to be a ton of waste anyways. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to hoop up my, so here's our chart. The wagon that we're going to be doing today, the design, the instructions are on page 55. It's going to be in row 4. This is our quilting design that we're going to be using. Our final size is 6 by 8, so you need to cut your batting 7 by 9. Mine's already cut. And these are the hoops that you can use, but of course, if you're not on Baby Lock or Brother, you can use something comparable. That's the ruler that you're going to use to trim it down. So everything is right there, so you don't have to keep getting out your book and referring to it. Try to make it as easy as possible for me, really, but I was like, oh, then I'll just send it to the ladies and that'll make it easy for them. I just don't like having to flip around looking for everything. So I'm going to go ahead and hoop up my muslin. Let's do that. Whoop, I'm upside down. So always look for that little outie, the little outie belly button on your inner hoop. go ahead and just pull out any of the wrinkles. Don't pull too hard. You don't want to distort your fabric because it'll pull once you take your embroidery out too. And I'm going to go put this on my machine. Let's go ahead and load up our design. I'm going to grab all my stuff. I'm looking over in front of I have a fireplace in here, and I still have like all the pictures we didn't have any place to hang, and they've been sitting there since we moved in. We moved in 2019. I really should take care of that. That's why I love staycations, because, well, it's kind of like what I should be doing, but I don't really do it, but at some point I will do it. Okay. Let's go, and we are going to put in Weather 3. That's the quilting design. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to go into my settings, and I'm going to choose my 8x12 hoop. So I know how much room I have to work with. So go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead and go to your quilting designs. And the quilting design we're looking for is Weather 3. Weather 2, Weather 3. And the size you're looking for is going to be 6x8 vertical. Six by 8, there's 6x6, 6x8, and here's horizontal. Well, you know, to me, this is vertical, right? Well, what is this? This is the wind. So, 6x8, depending on your design. Oh, you know what? No, this is vertical because our design is long. It's a hamburger. It's not going to be up and down. So it's this one. So go ahead and set that because we're going to be taking this and turning it. That's the way so this is right. We're going to add to that. So go ahead and add. Don't move anything yet. Just go ahead and hit add. And we are adding the wagon. So I'm going to go to my USB, Spring Showers Designs, and I need my wagon. Where are you, wagon? There it is. Set. I'm going to leave that until I go into my next screen. And actually, I'm not moving it. It's going to stay just like that. Let me just make sure there's no instructions, that those wagon wheels are great right where they're supposed to be. So this is on page 55. And right here, oh, look it. Here's an important instruction. So it says here, align block embroidery file with the quilting design file centered from top to bottom and 1/4 inch from the right of the quilting design. So if you look right here, we need to be 1/4 inch away from the bottom. All right. So, well, but it's to the right on this. So I'm going to take this design and I am going to move it to the right. So it's 1/4 inch away from, let's see, we wanted 1/4 inch away. I'm looking at the picture. So the wheels are going to be right on, not the rightmost line, but the second to rightmost line. So I'm going to go ahead and hit move. There we go. And then it should look just like this. So if you look at the picture here, do you see how the wheels are not, I'll do it this way because that's our orientation. You don't want it all the way on the rightmost line, but the second to the rightmost line. Ladies, you get that? So it should look like this. So when you sew it, because this is your 1/4 inch seam allowance, when you sew it, those wheels are going to be right on the seam. All right, we are loaded in there. Let's go ahead and let's hit OK. I'm going to hit embroidery. On this screen, I'm going to take my design, scoot it all the way up. Layout, move, scoot them all the way up. Then I have all of this to work with later on. Anyone have any questions about that? Are we good? You have your wheels all the way over? If you don't, it's okay. When you sew it together, they'll just be floating up in above the, is there grass there? It's just going to be floating up a little bit. But this is what it's going to look like in the end. When we stitch it all together, those wheels are going to be right on the seam. Hope that makes sense. This is what I learned from last week, not reading the directions carefully. I hate when I don't give you perfect instructions. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. First thing it's going to do is it's going to do a placement stitch for your batting fabric. Color doesn't make a difference. I still have that yellow from the last stitch out that I did. And grab your batting and give it a shot of spray. You should also spray the back of your background fabric too. That was me running and falling. I was letting Momo back in. It's so windy here. Okay, so here is my batting, and I'm going to give it a little shot of spray to the back. I saw him standing out there wanting to come in. Sometimes he'll just stay out there and he doesn't say anything. My husky used to bark and jump on the door. And Momo will just sit there. Okay, and grab your background fabric too. Spray that. This is your background fabric. It should be this this kind of cream herringbone. So give that a shot of spray to the back too. I'm just loving my spray tint. Get your scissors. I got these new slippers. I love slippers. I have a lot of slippers, but my sewing room is like on a slab, so the floor gets really, really cold. But now I know not to run in these because there's no traction. It's just kind of leather. But are these so cute? I just love them. I don't crochet. I've always been a knitter. But when I see stuff like this, it makes me want to learn how to crochet. I feel like there's some really fun things that you could crochet. That'll be my next lifetime. That'll be Reboot. Genie Reboot 3.0. I'm counting this as the 2.0 of my life. So I'm going to go ahead and trimming this up right now. And again, I'm going to skip the next step, which is the placement line. If you don't want to skip that step, I want you to go ahead and trim this and do the next step, which is the placement line. I'm just going to spray my backing, fold it in quarters, place it, and then I'm going to do the tack down. My God, I can't wait for those thread sets. I'm really, really excited about that silky cotton because I don't, oops, what am I cutting? How come I'm not cutting through all my layers? I love matchy-matchy. So I love having the exact perfect color that I need. Did I spray this? I did. Okay, mine is sprayed. I'm going to quarter it. I'm going to find the very center and lay it down, and I just kind of guesstimate. And I will be peeling off that sticker, don't worry. It's not staying on there. So I heard that 2 scoops. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tack this down. And I'm going to change my color out right now because the quilting stitch is going to happen after this. So let me go ahead and I'm going to put in that cream. This right here. I heard that the accessory pack includes the 2 scoops pillow is going to make sound. Can you believe that? I think the ice cream truck. There's something where the ice cream truck is going to make sounds. If you've not ordered it yet, we still have it on our site. We do the pre-order at 20% off. This is your tack down, then you're going to go right into the quilting. I love matchy-matchy, Carol. I mean, sometimes I like I love high contrast. I love matchy-matchy. What I don't like is when it's off a little bit. Oh, shoot. You know what happened? I didn't skip the, I told you I was going to skip it, and then I didn't skip it. So I'm going to bounce ahead next. Let me go right here, and I'm going to go into my quilting stitch right there. And this is going to take 3 minutes. Go ahead and do your quilting stitch. Hey, Marlene, my email is my name, JEANNE, the letter A, the number 1, sew at gmail.com, and that's SEW. So JEANNE A1 sew at gmail.com. After we do that, where's my book? We are going to get ready. So we've already done this. We've already put our shape flex on the back of that. Stitch the wheel placement line and place the wheel fabric right side up. I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. Color doesn't make a difference right now. You're going to grab that gray piece of fabric. Give it a shot of spray. Go ahead and make sure you cover up both of those wheels. And if you want, if it was me and I was just here stitching all by myself, I would have stitched one wheel, trimmed, and then moved the fabric over and stitched the other wheel. But I'm trying not to hoard my fabric. I'm just going to cut it and just throw this away. It was an Easter box Sunday. What's an Easter box Sunday? And I know, Anna, that pillow is going to be super cute. What does everyone do with all their Kimberbell stuff? I obviously have this store, so that's where all my stuff goes, to the store. And then someday, when I have more time, I'm going to decorate my house, and it's going to look so good. It's going to look just like all of your houses that look amazing. And not like my house, which has no personality. So we're gonna trim this, and you want to go ahead and trim this close to the stitch line. And I'll have a bench, and every single month I'll change out my bench pillow. And I'll have a wall that I'll change out my wall hangings too. This is my dream. It takes time to decorate. And you need to be organized, and then you need places to store everything when you're not using it. So I just leave all this same stuff out. I used to always decorate for Halloween because we would have a huge Halloween party. And we have not done that for the past, oh God, I can't remember how long it's been. But I told my kids this year, I said this year we could have a Halloween party. And they're old enough that they can help decorate too. Okay, there are the wheels. Oh, I know, those Bitsy boxes. Are those so cute? Have you been making those all weekend? All right, after you do that, stitch the wheel, satin stitch, outline, axles, handle. You're going to stitch all of that, and it's going to be in the... I feel like that gray is almost... Yep, we're going to go dark, dark gray. Let me take my thread out. Did you make some super cute ones? Marlene? I was, I was looking because Gail Cram had done like the Cheeto one. I want a day where all I do is make those. They're just so cute. Okay, go ahead and stitch out the wheels, the handle, the axle, all that stuff. And then after that, we're going to stitch the wagon handle hinge detail, and that is going to be in... That's going to be in the cream. This is going to be 6 minutes of stitching. How were those carrots? Were those super fun? They looked pretty cute. Marlene, I keep thinking about those quilts that you showed me last time you were in town. And I don't know if you could bring some next time you come. I'm dying to see them in person. Especially, I can't stop thinking about that Santa one that you did. I just loved that. All right, I'm about 2/3 the way with my stitching. Get your cream color next. That's going to be the next thing we're going to put down. And then we're going to be placing the red fabric for your for the wagon bed. Right, so that is the handle. Let's go ahead and put in your cream colored. You could do your cream. You could do that kind of, what is this one called again? This one is called, let me see, cashmere. You could do cashmere if you wanted to. Either of those would work, but I think the color they're showing is the cream. Go ahead and stitch out the wagon handle hinge design. I'm going to take out my dark gray. I'm going to do my hinge design. That's just going to be quickie. We're at 11:30. We're about an hour and a half in. Maybe we'll stitch out the wagon and then we'll go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break and get a snack. Go to the bathroom if you need to. Catch up if you need to. And then we're going to be laying this piece down, so find this and give it a little shot of spray. Oh no, wait, is it this one? Yeah, it's going to be this one. This is going to be the wagon bed placement, and this is your fabric. And I put it in my little spray tent, and color doesn't make a difference right now. It's going to be the outline stitch. I'm just going to leave that cream in there, and then I'm going to lay this fabric down. And it says color doesn't make a difference for the tack down either, so I'll leave it in for the tack down too. I know it's a little hard for you to see because it's cream on cream. I'm making a big old mess because now I'm cutting, see all of that? That's cutting for Liberty. I'm cutting all the embellishments. So it'll come, your little kit will come with all the embellishment fabrics too. Okay. Go ahead and tack that down. Get your scissors ready to trim that. It's a lot of fabric. And you're going to trim it close to the stitch line. There's going to be a satin stitch that'll cover that over. I remember when I first got started with embroidery, the only like embroidery scissors that I had were those the ones that came with my machine. They were like the little blue handled ones. And that's what I used that for like everything because I didn't know that there were other better products out there. Okay, go ahead and we're going to do this one. They want you to have the right color in, so put in that kind of toasty brown. And this is going to be the flower pot placement line. So we're going to put in a color like this. And do your flower pot placement line. And you're going to grab your cork for this. And I shouldn't say never. There's few embellishments that I actually pre-trim because you get so much more use out of your pieces if you just cut it as you go. So I'm just going to put this down on that bottom corner. Just going to stitch it down. And this says to trim, let's see, do we want to trim it, stitch the tack down, and trim as desired. So if it says trim as desired, I'm going to give it about 1/8 of an inch around it. The other thing I do anytime it says as desired is I will use my curved straight scissors instead of my curved. That way I can have straight lines when I want straight lines. I'm going to pull this back a little bit. And I just want it a little bit away from the edge because I think it just looks cuter. And just trim it until it looks how you want it to look. That looks fine to me. And next thing it wants you to do, your instructions say, well, I need to tidy up a little bit. We just finished this step up right here where we trimmed it, and now it says stitch the flower bush placement line. You're going to put it in the green. This one is going to also be as trim as desired. Let's go ahead and put your green thread in. Do you know when the designs will be available to purchase for Sweet Land of Liberty? I have no idea. My rep had said they were running a little bit behind. So I'm not sure. But we'll make an announcement. We'll check and see. Hopefully they'll be available soon. Okay, this is the placement line for your pine felt. So grab your pine felt. And my bobbin's almost running out, so let me go ahead and cut. I'm just going to switch it out right now, so I don't have to think about it. Who needs a box of bobbins? Because I was getting ready to do them as a deal of the day, so I don't know if anyone... And Patrick goes, they have so much stuff. And then I thought, well, maybe they've been embroidering a lot. And there's all this Kimberbell coming up, so they need another box of bobbins. So let me know if you want... well, you don't even have to let me know, because I'm already... I just ordered a whole bunch, so we're going to do that as a deal of the day, too. So if you need them, we'll have them. I know this is hard to see because I'm doing cream on cream. But here's the placement line for the pine. How big is that? Nope. Here, we're going to go with a fresh new piece. And I just, like, this is the piece that I got for the whole thing, and I just spray it right in the corner, but I can't remember which corner. There we go. Gonna lay that down. Tack it down, then we're going to trim it. This is raw edge applique, so what you see is what you get. And then we're going to do the bucket, which is going to be the silver. Let's go ahead and trim that. This is going to have a lot of trimming, so I'm going to go ahead and slide this off and then trim around, and I'm going to use my snips. Let me grab these, or I dropped my other ones to the back. Maybe we'll use these. I've got everything. You just need it all, because you just never know what's going to be working best for that situation. This has a lot of innies and outies, so just do your best to make it look the best. I don't know if, for those of you who are from Reno, I took Momo hiking yesterday, and we did, we kind of went up on Woodchuck. And I could not believe how many people were there to do the Hunter Creek Trail hike. You couldn't even park in the parking lot. And then they have that like kind of overflow lot on the very top part where it's like a little circle. And people were double parked in there. And then I parked on the road. And by the time I left, there was at least 10 other people parked on the road. And they're building some amazing, beautiful houses. So I worry that they're going to restrict parking on the road at some point. But I wouldn't want, like, all those people parked in front of my house all day, every day. Maybe they could build another parking lot, but it was so busy. It was just beautiful out yesterday. And if you know me, you know I don't like to hike. But I kind of had fun with Momo. I do it because I have to, not because I want to. Okay. My little bush top is trimmed. Let's go ahead and look, and it says, well, I don't know what it says because where are my instructions? Hang on a second. Oh, here they are. They're right next to me. Okay, so we just did this part right here. Now it wants you to stitch the bucket placement line, and that is going to be that really pretty, that minty green, light blue color. And so color doesn't make a difference. However, you should have your machine threaded. I'm going to go back to the beginning of that. Here's my placement line. And then you're going to grab that piece of fabric that we put a little bit of Shape Flex on the back with. This one right here, I'm going to give mine a little shot of spray. Ooh. Uh-oh. I went out and back. It's working now. Do you know? Okay, so is everyone okay on Facebook? Let me know. Color does not make a difference. I'm going to do my tack down in this green. And then we're going to do the watering can, so you're going to need your silver. Yeah, please let me know. Is anyone else having problem on Facebook? You're okay? Okay. All right. I just want to make sure everyone's there. Everyone can watch. All right. You're going to go ahead, and this one says trim close to the stitch line. As long as I have one full recording somewhere. Okay, go ahead and put in your cashmere. And that's, you're going to do the placement line for the watering can. You can do it in like a gray if you want, to match the silver leather. And this is the placement line for your watering can. You want to get your silver leather. I'm going to give mine a little shot of spray just in the corner. Place your leather right side up, and then you're going to stitch your tack down. Trim leather as desired. There is no satin stitch, so this is going to be a raw edge applique. So make sure you have at least 1/4 of an inch. Don't be skimpy on this one. So how did it go, Terry? Like, how was the cutting with the left hand? Were you able, I mean, and those are only straight lines. So hopefully those were like easy enough for you to do. And you just cut. I'm just lazy, so I don't want to have to slide everything up, put it in the right spot. And if it's just the snips, hopefully you were able to do it. It was easy for you. I'm gonna grab my curved straight. It's a learning process. It is a learning, but you know, with that, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, you know, everything's gonna kind of get covered over. I like that you're trying it. Okay, remember, we're gonna curve and we're gonna trim and we're gonna leave a little bit of like 1/8 of an inch around. Or you can cut right to the stitch if you want. This is as desired, ladies, so whatever you like. All right, let's go ahead. We've got some innies and outies, so I'm gonna slide this off. And a lot of times when I'm trimming something like this, I'll just dominant hand because I want it to look good. And I'll just kind of turn it with my right hand as I go. Take your time. That's pretty cute. I'll toss that, and then this will go back into my scrap accessory pieces. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and slide this back on again. And we're gonna stitch the watering can handle detail, same color. We're just gonna leave that same color in. And then you're gonna get your pink, and we're gonna stitch the flower buds fill. So now we're just gonna be doing a whole bunch of stitching. This one's, I wouldn't say it's quick, but it's pretty easy. Easy peasy. This is gonna be the next color up. And then the green. Let me go ahead and put in my pink. So don't stress out if you're falling a little bit behind. We're going to finish this and we're going to take a 5-minute break for you to kind of tidy up, get organized, get the next thing out. After we do this one, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the double flower pots. So that's going to come up next. This is going to stitch out a whole bunch of pink flowers, and then we're going to need our green for the grass. That's going to come out of here. Always going to be so cute. So this is our next color. Terry, you're going to be an expert. You'll get so good, you'll forget which hand is your dominant cutting hand. All right, little flowers are done. We can trim up all those little threads later. And let's go ahead and put the green in, and we're going to stitch the grass fill. Well, Terry, you know what? I want you to focus on just being an expert at having fun. That's what we'll focus on, ladies. All right, we're going to do the green on the top of here. That's 2 minutes of stitching. And after that, you want this color because we're going to do the bucket outline. And so this, I imagine, like, this will be one of the colors in the silky, your silky cottons. And it'll be nice to just have it in a set and just have it all together. And anytime you need it, you don't have to go searching for it. You'll just have your silky solid set. Idea that was making that like clicking sound. I'm wondering. Anyhow, okay, so done with that. That is the grass, and now I'm gonna do my bucket satin outline. Go ahead and stitch that out, and then you're going to need that dark gray for the bucket handle detail. It's going to be 2 minutes of stitching. right, dark gray, we're going to do the bucket handle detail. And then we're going to do the red trim line, and we are done. So get your flower pots ready. Flower pots will be next. Whoops. Okay, don't know why I did that. Whoop. I know I said the right color and then I put in the wrong one. I'm just gonna do the stitching over this. I guess I was one step ahead. Let me put on my dark gray. Wouldn't have been the end of the world if I had a red handle. I'm going to go back to the beginning of that. Sometimes when I'm doing something really fine like this, I will put a matching bobbin in, but I'm just going to go for it. I think we'll be okay. Okay, now you want to put in the red. And the red's going to be 4 minutes of stitching. While it's doing that, if you need to get caught up, just get caught up. We'll take a 5-minute break. And then we're going to stitch out the flower pots. It'd be nice if we could start some of that grass. Okay, this is going to do the outline stitch for the body of the wagon. This is 4 minutes. 4 minutes of stitching for this. Okay, I'm going to get everything ready for the next embroidery, which is going to be the flower pot. So for the flower pot, we're going to need, and this is going to be flower pots 1, flower pots 2, flower pots 1. Here we go. Here's flower pots 1. Sorry, that's my mess. Okay, flower pots 1. The only other thing you're going to need is you're going to need your embroidery cork. So here is my cork. And then you should have background fabric. You're going to need leaves, the darker ones, the lighter ones, and then the cork, and I think that's it. So we should just get that together. This is, again, I think this is going to go into the 8x12. We're just going to move our fabric up a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and do my cut lines. Last step. It's going to be this one right here that gives you an idea of when where you're going to trim. Don't worry about the color. Just go ahead and stitch it. I have 12:08 on my clock. It's funny, it says 12:06. Let's go 12:06. That's what it says on my computer. So let's get back together at 12. Let's do 12:11. 12:11. So take your little break right now. I'm going to rehoop. Be hooped and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and hoop right now. Then run to the ladies' room. I'm going to pop this out, scoot it up a little bit. I loosened my hoop a little bit too because I'm going to hoop it like this so you can see just the very bottom of that. That's all going to get cut off anyways, and it's going to get pressed and squared up, so don't worry about it. You've got about an inch below where the hoop is. That looks good. We're going to get stitching in just a little bit. All right, ladies, I'm back. So Violet went to, I got to show you my snack. This is, I know it looks horrible, right? It doesn't look good. This is the Razzle Dazzle. This is the Razzle Dazzle Pie. I know you can't even see it because it's covered in whipped cream from Aikida's. And Momo loves it too. Momo, no. So, Violet had a soccer tournament yesterday. Leave it. She had a soccer tournament in Sacramento. And they went in a team van. And they stopped at Aikida's. So we had her get us pie. I love their Razzle Dazzle Pie. It's so good. Patrick just corrected me. He's like, Razzleberry. I like to call it Razzle Dazzle because it's so delicious. All right. Hopefully we're all back. You were able to run to the ladies' room, get yourself a snack. We are going to be doing the wagon. And it's on page, oh no, we did that. We are doing Flower Pots 1. And it's on page 57. We are putting in Design Plant 1. And it is 6x8 horizontal. So, let's go ahead and load our design first. There we go. I'm going to go, and we're using the same hoop. It's going to be in the... Are we using the same hoop? Yes, we are. So I'm going to go home. And you know what would be good for you to do next, just because you'll stay in order, is to do we did wagons, pots, because it's all 8x12. Maybe go back and do rain boots too, because I think we'll see if we have time to start something after this one. This might be it for the live part of our class. It would also be nice to maybe do this, the grass border, because I put a note in here that you're embroider first in an 8x8 or 8x12, and then cut into strips and sew together into one long strip. And then you can go ahead and do the quilting on that. But this is, you'll do this part first, where you're going to put it together. So let's see if we can get to that. That would be ideal. So go ahead and let's load in plant 1. So I'm going to go embroidery, USB, plant 1 right here. And the size we want is going to be 6x8 horizontal. 4x8, 6x8, 6x8 horizontal. This one right here. Horizontals are usually first. I don't know, maybe they're always first, but I always say usually because I'm not positive. And we're going to add to this, so go ahead and hit add. And the design you're adding is Flower Pots 1. Oop, I shouldn't go so fast. I wasn't even looking. Here we go. Flower Pots 1, this one right here. There's going to be 2 of them. Go ahead and set it. And let's see if we need to move that. Whoop! My seat just fell in. Okay, Flower Pots 1 right here. And we do need to move this. If you look here on the left-hand side, it wants you to move it 1/4 inch. So those flower pots, the satin stitch is going to sit not on the leftmost line, but the line just to the left of that. So here's the leftmost and then the next leftmost line. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to hit edit, move, and let's move this all the way to the left. So and here, I'll zoom in. Let's zoom in 200%. And so I'm going to move that so my satin stitch is right on that line. That might be one line 2 over. Doesn't matter. We're close, just like that. I'm going to zoom back out so you can see where it is. That's where you want to have it. Okay? Everyone got that? All right, I'm going to go ahead and say okay. We are first going to lay down our stabilizer and everything, and the first color that we're going to need is going to be the color that we're going to be doing the quilting, so I'm going to put cream in. I'm going to put cream in, and I'm going to do the placement line for my batting and the tack down. Let me go ahead. I'm going to put this in first. Oh yeah, I didn't hit embroidery. I'm going to move this as well. So layout, move, scoot it all the way up to the top. Say okay. Oh, it's moved down also? Shoot. Thank you for, oh, thank you so much, Marlene. Oh, ladies. Yeah, I was just looking here, but Marlene is right. Look, we're moved down here, and that's going to be 1/2 inch. So, let's go back, because this is going to move as one design. I can't move it separately now, so I need to hit return. And now I have to move this down too, and it does say to move it 1/2 inch. I'm not going to put my grids up. I'm going to kind of just eyeball it. But align block design file with the quilting design file 1/4 inch from the left, 1/2 inch from the bottom edge of the quilting design. So just eyeball. You want this satin stitch right here to be about 1/4 inch above the, not the bottommost line, but the second bottommost line. Thank you, Marlene. Move. So when you look at it, these red lines should all kind of be equally spaced. Do you see that? And I'm just eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be completely perfect, but I have that bottom red line, the next red line, and then this red line where that satin stitch will be 1/2 inch from here. Got it? Thank you. Takes a village. Okay, now that I have that correct, now I'm going to hit embroidery. And I did scoot that all the way up, and that looks right. It should look something like this. Okay, let me thread up my machine. Glad I read that comment. I've been super sad to lead you astray. And I depend on you ladies. So if you see me doing something wrong, let me know. I will not be offended. I will be happy. I'm going to spray the back of my batting fabric, and I'm going to spray the back of my background fabric in my handy dandy spray tent. This is what you should be spraying right here. Your batting, bumpy, icky side. It's the wrong side. And then this fabric right here. I guess I feel like I can be messier with my spray tent because it, you know, it has like sides and a top and everything. Okay, tack it down. While it's tacking that down, I'm going to spray my other piece. And then we're going to trim this. I was tidying up and I almost threw away the other half of that shoelace, which is going to be the strap for the boot. And then I looked at it more carefully. I was like, oh no, I need that. So be careful what you throw away. Go ahead and trim this. Trim your batting. That's the other thing that makes me quick with my trimming is I don't wait for the machine to stop. A lot of times if I am, if it's just me, and I think you'll probably have seen it in the video because I get super impatient, as it's stitching, you know, if it's stitching over here, I'll trim over here while it's stitching. Gorgeous. All right. This piece is already sprayed. I'm not going to do the next step. Let me skip it right now before I forget. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to skip this. That was a placement. This is a tack down. I am going to do the tack down stitch. And in the meantime, I'm going to fold this in quarters just to lay it down. I guess I could just eyeball it too. And here's my center. I'm a little bit lower. I mean, I don't have as much of a, but you know, we have around an inch all the way around it, so I wouldn't worry about it. Here's my tack down, ladies. Tack down stitch and then the quilting stitch. I'm going to leave that cream in for both of these. Go ahead and hit start. Here's your quilting. Let's talk about this one really quickly. And I want to run this by you because a lot of times when I do things that are pieced in the hoop, I will do the quilting too. So I'm wondering if we could do the quilting on this. So let's talk about the steps and see if this makes sense to you. I've never done this one before. So what you do is, this is going to be kind of like a flip and fold. The first step it's going to do is it's going to do the template. We're going to lay the first piece down face up. And then it will do, you know, the placement trim line. We'll trim it. Then we're going to lay our piece right side down, stitch it with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and fold it back. And same thing. You'll do placement trim, lay your piece right side down, 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then you'll fold it back. So what we could do is we could, I wonder if this will work, if we were to load the quilting design, but we'd have to load the quilting design. We'll have to pick one that's going to be short. They might have like a 7-inch one. They usually have like a 7-inch one. And then we could load that quilting design 1, 2, 3. I don't have, my glasses are horrible. So 6 times. We're going to be fast forwarding and doing some stuff. But in the end, we could just go through and fast forward and just stitch out the quilting stitch on top at the very end. I'm thinking that is going to work. It might be a little confusing and I might film it. What do you think of that though? You think that'll work, ladies? I think that would work. And then we would sew it all together and you wouldn't have to go back and quilt this in one long strip. I'm thinking. All right, so the quilting is done on this. We are going to go ahead. Oh, let me open up back up to my flower pots. So we just did the quilting. Now it wants you to stitch the plant stem detail. So go ahead and put your green in. Film it and let us see how it works. Okay, I'll film it. And that way if it doesn't work, you guys aren't following me down the rabbit hole. So we'll probably just finish this one off. And then when I get back from my eye doctor, I think that's the first one I'm going to do. Is because I want to see if that's going to make sense and if that's going to work. Okay, flower stems. After we do the flower stems, we're going to do placement for the cork pots. The grass will be growing sideways. I think it's growing sideways when you do your quilting anyways. So the quilting for the grass is going to be growing sideways, but that would be how we would be loading the quilt design in here. The only thing that I can see that wouldn't work is that the quilting design wouldn't totally line up perfectly, but I don't think that's really going to be that big a deal. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to try it. So this is where it wouldn't. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, Cherry, I see what you're saying. Yes. Because the quilting would be this way as these went. You are right. It will not work. I'm so glad that you pointed that out. So nice to have you ladies here to help me think things through. You're right. That's not going to work out. Okay. We'll just go ahead and we'll piece it. We'll just do the traditional piecing. If you've been working on those houses, then you've been doing a lot of this flipping and folding anyways. So you totally get it. And Terry, I'm so glad you pointed that out. Yes, the grass would be totally sideways and it wouldn't work. It needs to be pieced together first and then quilted. All right, we're going to go ahead and do the placement stitch for the pots, and it is going to get a satin stitch, so the color doesn't make a difference, but I already took out my green, so I'm going to just put in that light tan. I was hoping that would work, but you're right, we have to cut it apart and piece it back together to make that nice long strip. So we're doing all the strips on, that's the only one we wouldn't be able to put together if we don't finish it. So we kind of have to finish. Actually, we don't. Why don't we do this? Let's do all this strip quilting. We're going to throw the grass into next week, because next week we're going to be doing all the skinny sashing pieces, the border pieces. We're going to start by doing the orange peels, and then we'll do all the quilting for all those strips. So that's going to take us a while. So when you say frame, Marlene, like, are you just talking about which embroidery frame we're going to be using? Because for, I'd like to use the 9.5 by 14 for next week. I don't know why I just took my thread out. I was on autopilot, not thinking. So now we're going to lay down our cork, and we're going to do the tack down. Then we're going to trim close to the stitch, because this will get a satin stitch outline. Let me go ahead and I'm going to give mine a little shot of spray, and you can decide. I like mine to go sideways. I'm going to do one. I'm going to put one down, and then I'm going to put the other one down. I'm going to put one down, trim, and then do the other one. So once it finishes this one, I'm going to hit my stop button. I'm either going to be using the 9.5 by 14 or the 8 by 12. Oh, the eyeglass, my frames. Is that still there? Where's my cursor? That was placement line, stitch the pots tack down line. It looks like it is going to do another one right on top of that. Looks like it's doing two. You know, I have a design across each strip after you have pieced. Okay, let me stop so I can trim first. And this one we're going to go ahead again, and we are going to trim it close to the stitch. So if you put the quilt design across each strip after you've pieced the alternating, yes. What if we did that? I don't know. That might be too complicated for my small brain. Just making sure that it was placed right. We'd have to do 6 of them, I think. I'm going to think about it. But I would worry about my placement. Just making sure that everything was placed right and spaced evenly. As far as my frames for my eyeglasses, I know that I love those, like, just those acrylic frames that you can get in fun colors. But I have to have something that sits away from my face, because my eyelashes hit those, and the oils from my eyelashes get onto the glass, and then I can't see anything. And Patrick's making fun of me. I had a customer who was demoing a machine, and she told her husband to go to the car to get something, and came back with eyeglass cleaner and clean my glasses for me. And I was like, oh, I can see again. All right, now I'm going to lay down this piece right here. I better just do it now before I slide this on. Or let me go ahead and slide it on. And we'll do that. Perfect. Go ahead and stitch that down. And we'll trim that. There are 6 strips, but grass doesn't always grow straight. Yes, Terry. I'll think about it. Because if we could do it and it could be easy and that could be quilted as well as sewn together, that would be fantastic. If it could already be pre-quilted before we sew those strips together. I'm all about making it easier. And to be honest, I don't like quilting the strips. I like it a little more now that I had that tip from one of the gals who said to skip some of those steps. So I like it better because it's not taking me quite as long. But I still find it a little time consuming. Okay, now it says stitch the leaves pot 1 placement line. It wants us to use the green, so I'm going to put the green back in. And go ahead and give your green pieces of fabric a little shot of spray. You should have these 2 green pieces. You're going to lay down the darker green first. And you're going to trim close to the stitch line. And quite honestly, sometimes I don't even finish stitching the whole placement line. I know this is here and this is here, and I'll just put my fabric down. And that's with Kimberbell because they're so generous with their pieces of fabric. But I'll go ahead and stitch the whole thing. But if it was me and I was doing this, I would stop it right here and then lay down my fabric. Go ahead and do the tack down. We're going to trim it. These you're going to trim close to this stitch because there's going to be a satin stitch that's going to go around them. I can't wait to do these flowers. The embellishments. So we'll do a day where we do just the embellishments and put those together. I've heard mixed reviews on those. I have somebody who was like, I loved them, and she made like 8 million of them. And did all sorts of different ones, mixed colors, did all sorts of different fabrics. And I had somebody else who was like, I did not like doing those at all. That was the worst part. So you may or may not love them. See, this is what I normally do. When I'm just doing this, I start trimming while it's stitching. But I'll stop. I'll be more patient. Okay, so go ahead and trim these up. Next step, go ahead and do the placement line for your other flowers, and we're gonna grab the lighter green. Right, I'm gonna slide this back and lay this down. Oop, make sure I cover everything. Do your tack down and trim, and then we're just gonna do some satin stitching. So homework. You've got a lot of homework this week, ladies. You're going to be finishing the boots. You are going to have to do flower pot 2. The little border block, and all that's going to be is the quilting. You just have to lay it down and just do the quilting on it. And the grass border. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do the whole thing, including the quilting for this strip, because that'll be a good lead into our day 4. So I'm going to see how that all fits together, and then I want it all sewn together too. So you'll have enough then to sew together the rest of these. So you'll have all your boots, so this whole thing can be put together, and this whole thing can be put together as well. Wouldn't it be nice if you sewed this whole thing together too? So if you can do it, great. If not, I mean, I'm going to see if I can do it. And then we're going to do all of the strips next week. We're going to do all the quilting in the strips and the orange peels in the corner. So I feel like we're doing great. I feel pretty on track, because we need to be ready for Liberty Pillow. Liberty Pillow, I'm hoping kits will be ready. I can't remember who asked. Was it Carol was asking about when the kits would be ready. So I'm waiting for, there's the red with this tiny flowers, and that fabric is gonna, they say it's gonna be ready to ship or be available on the 8th of this month. So I'm hoping they'll send that to me as soon as possible. The rest of it has almost all been cut. I have 40 kits that we're putting together. Okay, flower pots. Go ahead and put in that toasty brown. That way, we can do that in 2 weeks. And then 2 scoops. I think 2 scoops. I'm hoping the fabric will be ready. And we can start that maybe mid-May. Okay, this is the outline for the flower pots. Any questions, ladies? This is 10 minutes of stitching. Like I said, I've got to run out the door right at 1, so I am going to not be sitting right here. I'm going to run upstairs and get my stuff and just get ready. And then as long as you don't have any questions about next week, I'm going to be touching base throughout the week, just finishing up all the homework. There's quite a bit this week. And I will see you next week for just to finish up and do the quilting for our sashing and border strips. So just reach out if you have any questions, if you need help with anything. I'm just gonna post the videos as I do them throughout the week, and yeah, I'll see you next week. I'm gonna leave this stitching, but I'm not gonna be sitting right here. And just reach out if you have any questions.
really let you sit on when you sit.
Yeah, but sometimes it falls in. Okay, here, you can sit here. There's 5 more minutes, so we're gonna do this.
Wait, what?
Patrick's here. I'm gonna have him finish up the embroidery. You're gonna finish the satin stitch, and then you're gonna put the green in.
How come it doesn't look like there's a green to do?
Right here. Green. So you're gonna do the green, and then this middle stitch. So it's gonna be the decorative stitch for on both leaves. This will probably be 3 more minutes. And then you can
You gotta remember your wallet. Do you have your health card?
Anna, I just read your comment, and this weekend I watched that show with those 2 girls that have that organizing show where they come in and they color code everything, and I was like, I should do that, but I don't think I could ever do that either.
You saw how it worked with Mary Kondo's effort?
No.
like where you'd go,
Yes.
I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, I tried that too. I tried that too, where you take your item and you say you've brought me much joy, and then you get rid of it. But I just got rid of it, and then I put it in the garage, and then I just went and got it back again. I am going to end here. I mean, I'm going to keep stitching, but I'm going to end the feed so I can, because I film from my phone and I'm going to take it with me. But last thing you're going to do is you're going to put in your green and you're going to do the decorative stitch around both of these sets of leaves. There is a design placement line, which is step 11, and it, excuse me, it says do not stitch that, so do not stitch that. I'm putting in my green right now. Stitch all of that out, and that's it, ladies. I will see you later. Thanks for joining me this morning, and I'll see you next week. Bye.